Before we get started today's podcast, check out the links below here in this posting. You want to check out Life Points. Life Points, you take a bunch of surveys, you get points, you trade those points in for gift cards. It's a win-win for everyone. Let people know your opinion and get a few bucks for it as well. Click on the link below, sign up for today. You might even get a Twitch gift card and you can support my channel by subscribing or whatever your favorite other channel is. I mean, it's completely up to you. And of course, my friends, if you need social media management, there's no one better than Social Bee. The Social Bee is the social media management tool that enables posting across all of your profiles, including TikTok, Google My Business, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. It has a Giftly, Unsplash, Canva integrations inside the system. You can connect RSS feeds, categorize your posts, recycle old posts. Check them out. 14-day free trial. And once you try them, like me, you'll be hooked. So check out Social Bee. The link is in the post below. Okay, my friends, let's get started with this podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur small regional banker. And welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day. All we do is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you. I want you to be part of the conversation. So find me on the Twitter, on the Facebook, on the Instagram, even on Cameo and Counter Social at Colt S. Taylor. Of course, there's ColtSebastianTaylor.com, which I should probably update one of these days. And of course, if you've missed this show, you can always subscribe to the podcast version at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. And every once in a while, I throw on an extra story on there as well. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week, my friends, banks. The banks. So you may have heard last week that there's been a smidge of banking issues. Two large banks in the United States failed last week. Now, what happens when there's a bank failure? What does that mean? Well, banks is where you keep money, obviously. And banks use that money and loan it to other people to do things, and they pay that money back to the bank with interest. That's how banks make their money. The more money they have, they can lend out money to other things. Now, a bank fails is when they don't have any money that they should have money. So, if you go to any bank, banks don't have all the money that you gave them at the moment. They're not there, okay? They are loaned out to other places. But the idea is that a bank should have enough money for the normal ins and outs of banking and whatnot. So every day, some people bring money in, and every day, some people bring money out. Now, if everyone takes their money out at once, that can be a problem because they don't always have the money to cover those withdrawals. It is known as a bank run. Because in the old days, if you heard a bank was going out of business, you would run to the bank and get your money out. Back in the old days, this is prior the Great Depression, if a bank failed and you didn't get your money out, well, sorry, Charlie, you don't have any money. That's the way that concept today kind of just blows your mind. But yeah, that's the way that used to be. In the 30s, they came up with federal deposit insurance. So, starting in the 30s, if the first $100,000 in a bank was insured by the government would make sure you got that money back. If it was over $100,000, you're out of luck, but 100,000, which covered a lot of people back in the 1930s. And they actually recently raised it to $250,000. So if a bank failed and you had $100,000 in there, you would get that money back. The government guaranteed you would get that money back. And to pay for that, all the banks pay into the FDIC insurance. So they can put like a little logo on their letterhead and their website that said, this bank is FDIC insured. Meaning, if we go out of business one day, your money is safe here. So why not put your money here? So just so you have an idea of the background on this. So these two banks, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, both failed last week. They had to close, and they were taken over by the federal government, okay? Now, they failed for, a variety of reasons. A variety of reasons. One bank was heavily invested into cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency has taken a bit of a dive recently, and people were worried that this bank didn't have enough money, so they started pulling the money out. I believe that was a Signature Bank as well. Silicon Valley Bank, they were getting hit by the high interest rates, and sort of some rumors popped on Twitter and TikTok that they may not have their money all together. They weren't as well capitalized as they could be. And then they said, hey, we're going to sell some stock because we need to raise $2 billion to make ends meet. And then people quickly pulled their money out. There's some folks saying that Peter Thule, who is a libertarian billionaire who backed some real wackos in the last election, helped kick this off, or got it started more so by saying, I'm going to pull my money out of this bank, and then everybody pulled their money out of the bank. Everybody pulled their money out of the bank. And so they failed, and then Signature Bank failed after that, and then there is some current concern that another bank called First Republic Bank is also having a hard time making ends meet, and they haven't failed yet, but they are getting a cash infusion by big banks and can borrowing money from the government to sort of shore up their books so they can handle any possible issues. It's funny, speaking of First Republic Bank, they're based out of San Francisco. I have a client in San Francisco that pays me through First Republic Bank, and boy howdy, when that check showed up this week, I went to the bank and cashed it as quickly as possible. Woo! That would be, I did not want to mess with that. Whew, boy. Also another bank failed. So three banks failed. Silvergate Bank, which is a cryptocurrency, folks. They were hit after the bankruptcy of FTX, which was a big cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. Then Silicon Valley Bank, and then Signature Bank. Signature Bank being in New York City. So, this is a bit of an issue. A lot of banks have been hit hard on the stock markets by this. Obviously, the big banks are weathering better, but regional banks, these sort of special banks, are having a hard time recently. Like, for example, Signature Bank, the cryptocurrency, Silicon Valley Bank, they funded a lot of tech startups. There was a lot of concern. Now, the federal government has stepped in and said that everyone who had money in Silicon Valley Bank will get all their money back. Even if you had more than $100,000 there, you're going to get all your money back, because they thought this was a systemic risk to the financial system. If they didn't give money to these people to make whole their deposits again, they thought there'd be a lot of issues in the economy. And for a day or two, there's a big concern there. One story I saw that Roku, the popular streaming service, had 25% of their money in Silicon Valley Bank, and they weren't sure if they were going to get it back. A cryptocurrency called a stablecoin, which, stablecoins are cryptocurrency. They're one-for-one Like one stable coin is also worth $1. So kind of used as a coin that will always be worth $1. Well, we found out that one stable coin that was very popular had $3 billion in Silicon Valley Bank or Signature Bank. I'm not sure which one. And so that cryptocurrency, which normally trades at $1 per coin, tumbled to 80 cents, lost 20% because people weren't sure, is this coin going to crash? So the government's moving in, trying to shore these up. They are making a new program called the Bank Term Funding Program. It's an emergency loan program providing up to 1 year in length to banks, savings associations, credit unions, and other eligible depository institutions that pledge U.S. Treasuries, agency debt, and mortgage-backed securities, and other qualifying assets of collateral. So, so they're watching this very, very, very carefully. The signature or the Silicon Valley Bank failure, I believe, is one of the biggest ones in the United States in recent memory. I'm going to look at the list here. It is the second biggest. Failure in U.S. history. And Signature Bank was the third. So last week, the second and third biggest second and third largest, biggest bank failures of all time happened last week. So as you can imagine, stock market a bit rattled. The all-time record, however, was in 2008 with Washington Mutual. They had over $300 billion in assets at the time. Silicon Valley Bank, $209 billion. And then Signature Bank, $118 billion. The fourth largest, after that, only $40 billion in 1984 with the Continental Illinois National Bank and Trust, which was, at the time, one of the largest bank failures of all time. Although $40 billion then is worth $104 billion now just for inflation. Still, not as big as those last two. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So, if I'm not a financial advisor, consult your personal financial advisor, but definitely something to watch. If you have under $250,000, $100,000 in the bank, you're fine. You will get your money. You might have a day or two where you can't log in, but the folks at Signature and Silicon Valley Bank who are under that number were able to get their money out. And the government is watching this pretty carefully. But, I don't usually cover financial news on the radio like this, but the second and third largest bank failures in U.S. history, I made an exception. Okay, moving on from that probably stressful story to a happy one. Dogs, puppies, that's right. This year, the American Kennel Club announced that the Labrador has been dethroned after 31 years as the top U.S. dog breed. Yes, my friends, dethroned. The new top dog breed in the United States is the French Bulldog. Yes, that's right. Last week, they announced that the French Bulldog was the nation's most popular purebred dog last year. However, there are some critics saying that this new popularity has led to unscrupulous breeders who are breeding dogs with health problems and whatnot. They're not known for being the healthiest dog. They do need lots of exercise, but they are very popular. Some are very adorable eyes. They have a sturdy push face, perked ears, world-weary looking, and distinctive drool French dog that French Bulldogs have become known for. So, so why has it become the number one dog? Well, according to the French Bulldog Club of America spokesperson Patty Sosa, they're comical, friendly, loving little dogs City-friendly with modest grooming and exercise needs. They offer a lot in a small package. Now, it wasn't even a top 75 choice 25 years ago, but has rocketed to the top. There's also been, as you may remember, Lady Gaga's French Bulldogs were the subject of a kidnapping last year, the year before. My grandmother followed that very closely. Last month, there was a fatal shooting of a 76-year-old South Carolina breeder. And in 2021, the Lady Gaga's dogs. These dogs go for a lot of money, especially the quote-unquote exotic or designer breeds. Some will pay for very exotic-looking coat colors, but they are often very unhealthy. If you're trying to go for like a very specific look, they're prone to breathing issues, spine issues, eye and skin conditions. The British Veterinary Association has urged people not to buy flat-faced breeds such as Frenchies. The Netherlands have prohibited the breeding of short-snouted dogs, and the country's agriculture minister aims to outlaw even owning them. According to a veterinarian in Wisconsin, Carrie Stiffick, says French Bulldogs can be a polarizing topic, noting that the various breathing difficulties that they can have, owners don't do enough research, and they need to be careful. But she has, to herself, she says, these dogs can be very fit, can be very active. They don't need to be sedentary dogs that can't breathe. So yeah. So, the rankings don't count mixed breeds, at least for now. So, such as Labradoodles, Puggles, Morkies, and other designer hybrids. The top 10 purebred dogs last year were, in order, French Bulldogs, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds, Poodles, Bulldogs, Rottweilers, Beagles, Dachshunds, and German Short-Tailed Pointers. I, for one, don't know why Boxers aren't on there. They're the best dogs of all. In fact, one is sleeping right next to me. But anyways, friends, if you're going to get any sort of dog, you really, really need to research it. Make sure that it comes from a reputable breeder and whatnot. Otherwise, you're just, helping to support puppy mills, and the dog is not going to have a very, very fun life. So be sure, my friends, to research that. So, and then if you like dogs, the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, and then the National Dog Show, hosted by the Kennel Club of Philadelphia, are your places to go. In fact, a Frenchie named Winston took second place this year, and then won the National Dog Show this year as well, adding to its popularity. And there's also some very popular celebrity owners, as I mentioned, Lady Gaga, as well as Leonardo DiCaprio, Megan Thee Stallions, and AOC, the rep from New York that you either really like or you think is the worst thing ever, and degradingly call her a bartender because you are a slack-jawed yokel. So, friends, French Bulldogs, now number one breed of dogs in the United States. Will they hold this record next year? I'll let you know next year. My friends, French Bulldogs may be the most popular dog in the United States, but the most popular DJ here on AWSM Radio for the probably the next 31 years as well is my pal DC. He has 3 shows here on AWSM Radio, which you should definitely check out. Fridays at 9 p.m. It's DC live in effect. You do not want to miss out while he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from South Florida every week. And then on Saturdays at 10 p.m., it's DC House Party Saturdays, bringing his freestyling DJing to the max. House Party Saturdays will give you all the Miami vibe without actually having to cross the state border into Florida, which I do not recommend doing. From the top clubs to the bars, DC will bring the party to you Saturdays at 10 p.m. And then finally, once again, Sundays at 10 p.m. It's DC live in effect again. So, just to review. Fridays at 9, DC live in effect. Saturdays at 10, DC House Party Saturdays. And then Sundays at 10 p.m., DC live in effect. Only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. Next up, my friends, we go to the Academy Awards as well as India, because India's hit movie RRR won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Natu, which I'm probably saying wrong, is the third highest grossing Indian film and the second highest grossing Telugu film worldwide. Pretty impressive stuff. I've seen clips from this movie. It's on my list of things I need to watch, but it's one of they won Best Original Song in the Academy Awards. It is pretty great. They've also won a slew of other awards. The Alliance of Women Film Journalists, Best Non-English Language Film, Atlantic Films Critics Circle, Best International Film, Boston Society of Film Critics, Critics Movie Choice Awards, also Best Song and Best Foreign Language Film, and won Best Original Song at the Golden Globes. At the Hollywood Critics Association, it took Best Action Film, Best International Film, Best Original Song, Best Stunts, and Spotlight Award. It won several awards at the Houston Critics Society, New York Critics Online Film Critics Society, the Saturn Awards, very big award for Best International Film, and various other regional film critics, a slew of awards, 34 total different awards it has won and whatnot. If you are under a rock, which, maybe are, the movie follows two fictional Indian revolutionaries, their friendship, and their fight against the British Raj, which, for those who may not understand how history works, India was under the British Raj until the late 1940s. So it looks like a crazy, fun movie. Obviously, amazing dancing, music, stunts, pretty great stuff. I've seen a few clips. I'll probably be watching it this weekend. But congratulations to RRR for winning best song in best original song in the Academy Awards. Who else were they up against, you might ask? Well, they were up against, I have to look it up here because I want to make sure I am getting my facts right. And, yes, here we are. Best Original Song, RRR, of course, won. And the other songs were, at the 95th Academy Awards, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, RRR beat out Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, music and lyrics by Diane Warren, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, music and lyrics by Lady Gaga and Blood Pop, Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever by Thames, Rihanna, Ryan Coogler, and Ludwig Grossasson. And This Is a Life from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once by Ryan Lott, Diane Bryan, and Mitski. But Natu by M.M. Kiravini, lyrics by Chandra Bose, won Best Original Song at this year's Academy Awards. We now go to shoe news. Yes, that's right. I'm not saying show like, that old presenter, I don't remember his name now. Another really big shoe. But shoes, yes, actual shoes. This week, Nike says it will stop using kangaroo skin for its shoes. Leading to my question, holy moly, have they always used kangaroo skins? Apparently they have. I had no idea. But Nike is going to stop using kangaroo skins for its shoes this year, weeks after their rival Puma said they were doing the same. Apparently using kangaroo skin for shoes has drawn a lot of attention from consumers and animal rights activists. A campaign called Kangaroos Aren't Shoes, I guess, popped up and got a lot of attention and will be being used instead. Apparently it was used because, I guess, it has different properties than other leather. I don't know. But they'll be using a proprietary synthetic material that replaces the use of kangaroo leather in their new Tiempo football boots, I guess being soccer. The Tiempo premier line of football boots, which we're going to launch this summer, will also forego kangaroo skin. The company ended its partnership with the only kangaroo leather supplier in 2021. This decision comes as a big win for animal welfare activists who have long urged companies to drop unethical practices involving animal cruelty. According to the statement released by Wayne Parcell, president of the Center for a Humane Economy, says Nike's announcement is a seismic event in wildlife protection. The tremors will be felt all over the world, especially Australia, where a mass commercial slaughter of kangaroo occurs. So, also, there are a lot of younger shoppers who are now shopping more consciously and are looking for more clothing companies with sustainability. In fact, Gucci's owner, Kering SA, Italia's Prada and luxury parka maker, Canadian Goose Holdings, have all ditched the use of animal fur in their collections over the last few years. And in fact, California has not allowed products made from kangaroos to be sold or imported into the state since 1971. So I guess those shoes had to go through other ports. So, but anyways, sorry, kangaroo leather fans. Boy, those libs just take away everything that's fun in life, right? Killing kangaroos and making shoes out of them. No more kangaroo leather in Nike, weeks after Puma says it would do the same. We now go to cell phone business news. As you know, hey, cell phones, right? Well, this week, T-Mobile announced it was acquiring the Kana Corporation, which you probably don't know, but what you probably do know are their subsidiaries, Ultramobile, and probably a bit more so, Mint Mobile, which is owned in part by Ryan Reynolds. That's right. T-Mobile said in a press release it will pay a $1.35 billion in cash and stock to buy the company. According to CEO Mike Silbert, Mint has built an incredibly successful digital direct-to-consumer business that continues to deliver for Soltlers on the Un-carrier's leading 5G network, and now we are excited to use our scale and owners' economics to help supercharge it. T-Mobile is the second largest wireless company in the United States, with over 110 million customers as of the end of last year, and had recently just merged with Sprint. According to Mint Mobile founder and CEO David Glickman, he said, "Our brands have thrived on the T-Mobile network, and we're thrilled that this agreement will take them even further, bringing the main benefits of 5G to more Americans." Now, its spokesman and sort of personified face of Mint Mobile is, of course, Ryan Reynolds, who owns about 20 to 25% of the company. He does the commercials, takes playful shots at himself, has family members come in, brought Rick Moranis out of retirement to do a commercial and whatnot. Pretty incredible stuff. Reynolds released a statement saying, "We are so happy with T-Mobile. We are so happy T-Mobile beat out an aggressive last-minute bid from my mom, Tammy Reynolds, as we believe the excellence of the 5G network will provide a better strategic fit than my mom's slightly above average mahjong skill." So Mint Mobile uses T-Mobile's network. They are a virtual cell phone company. So T-Mobile has towers. They have cell phone towers. They have a network or not. But a company can create its own cell phone company and use their network to be their own towers and whatnot. So they're kind of renting out space to sell and whatnot. And it does a lot. I mean, there's only like a few cell phone companies that have cell phone towers. T-Mobile's one. Verizon is one. AT&T is one. Sprint was one, but they merged with T-Mobile, so they kind of combined their efforts. But all these other cell phone companies you might see online, on TV or online, the Boost Mobile, the Track Phone, those things, they all use other people's networks, but they're their own cell phone company, so they are a virtual network. So I had to look that up myself. I didn't quite understand the concept, but anyways, Mint Mobile, Ryan Reynolds, now going to be part of T-Mobile. They released a commercial about, which was, I'd say, pretty funny. That Ryan Reynolds, he's a funny guy, a real funny guy. Now, you probably ask yourself, is T-Mobile now going to buy AWSM Radio? Well, if they did, they would get a great drive time show. It's called The Rock Sessions. That's right, that's the segue. And it's my pal Rocks, the beautiful, talented Rocks. It's going to make sure that your evening commute home is fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts, as well as some other surprises in between. She will make it rock style, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. Moving along, my friends, thrift stores. A great place to get used clothing, save a few bucks, get some nice things and whatnot on there. If you like to hunt out deals and whatnot. Plenty of stores out there like your Goodwill, your Liberty stores, Salvation Army. But there are also other there's other businesses that focus on high-end merchandise and whatnot that try. I mean, you probably have seen the commercials about like, oh, you go on the app and you can sell your clothes and make a few bucks to buy new clothes and whatnot. Well, a lot of high-end retailers and fashion retailers are now getting in on the game. They're partnering up with other companies to help manage used clothes sales as a way, obviously, to make a little bit more money and as a way to promote their sustainability and whatnot. So if you're reusing clothes, you don't need to make new clothes. You're being a more sustainable company. One such company, H&M, which is known as a fast fashion retailer, launched a resale program Tuesday in collaboration with ThredUp, an online consignment platform that has partnered with dozens of brands to run their used clothing sales. H&M will be the largest retailer to work with ThredUp, and the partnership will mark the retailer's first resale marketplace in the United States, according to Abby Casamelli, the head of sustainability for H&M North America. Quote, "We've been working in secondhand since about 2015, really testing and learning. And what we know is we need to make it easier to adopt. We need to make it user-friendly. We need to make it easy to access." Roughly 30,000 pieces of clothing will be available on H&M's resale site. ThredUp is responsible for powering the site and restocking it with H&M pieces sent in by users. Other clothing retailers include Indexy Zara, online fashion retail Shein. They have launched resale marketplaces as shoppers express a growing interest in sustainability initiatives. Brokerage Morningstar has estimated that the resale market could grow to $300 billion a year by 2031. That is a whole lot of money. Recently, however, H&M has been criticized for marketing its clothing as more eco-friendly than they actually are. A 2022 lawsuit accused H&M of greenwashing for displaying sustainability scores that falsified information on how the clothing was manufactured. The H&M spokesman said the company was continuing to investigate irregularities in scores and remove them from the website after the coalition that developed the scoring metric paused its use and whatnot. Some critics are saying that the effort by H&M and other large retailers to enter the resale market are undercut by the number of clothing they produce every year. Lucy Doon, a professor at the University of Minnesota, said fashion sustainability should include efforts to cut back on production and consumption along with other initiatives. If they're not actually producing less, it's not helping anybody, according to a statement she made. But H&M does not plan to slow down clothing launches or reduce the overall number of items it sells. We are the business that produces things, so it's not really about our volume of production. It's about how you're designing and producing it for circularity, so being used clothes. So, a lot of businesses are entering this field, obviously, so they can make some more money. And instead of going to the Salvation Army or Goodwill, places that use that money to help, people in need, a lot of other companies are popping up to take those used clothes, make a few bucks on them, and make it easier to sell. Now, obviously, going on these websites, much easier to look for used clothes on a phone rather than going through racks of clothes at your local Salvation Army, hung up by volunteers and whatnot, and you can pick things from different locations, have it sent to you. There's a convenience there as well. I'm sure the Salvation Army and Goodwill had $3 billion to invest in an online management system. They would probably spend that money elsewhere and help people and not try to make money off of used clothes. But anyways, you should be seeing more of this pop up. Not surprised. Is there a used pith helmet app out there? No, not yet. Also, probably not much of a market for used pith helmets. Next up, my friends, some sad celebrity news. Lance Reddick, best known actor for his performance of Cedric Daniels on The Wire and his role in the John Wick franchise, has passed away this week. Passed away while the announcement coming while I'm actually recording this and whatnot. According to Representative Mia Hansen, it says that Reddick passed away suddenly Friday morning from natural causes. Actor well known for having intensity and gravitas. He appeared on New York Undercover, The West Wing. He first auditioned for The Wire and for his project, and he became in New York. He auditioned for The Wire creators David Simon's project The Corner, an HBO miniseries that came 2 years before Simon's role on The Wire. While Reddick did not get that project, he did go on to be a regular on HBO's Oz, where he played an undercover detective posing as an inmate. Eventually, Simon cast him as Narcotics Unit Lieutenant Daniels in his breakout role on The Wire. On the John Wick series, he plays the concierge at the Continental, called Mr. Wick. He does a great job in that. He was also on the show Fringe. He was in the show Lost for a bit, but then got a lead role in the Fringe and had to leave that role altogether. He was in Netflix's version of Resident Evil, as well as Amazon's Bosch, I don't know. And recently, he did a voice of a dragon on Amazon's The Legend of Vox Machina, which is a cartoon based off a popular Twitch Dungeons and Dragons show called Critical Role, which I watch because I do enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons. But he played one of the big main dragons, and so I think there's a few more. I think he hopefully recorded those voices for the next season and whatnot. But very sad, 60 years old, very, very young, apparently of natural causes, amazing actor and whatnot. He was going to be in the upcoming remake of White Men Can't Jump. He also made appearances on Young Sheldon and Key and Peele. Apparently, donations to his memory can be made at momscare.org in Baltimore. And he is survived by his wife Stephanie and children Yvonne and Christopher. So, once again, sad news. Lance Reddick of The Wire, John Wick, Legend of Vox Machina, passed away Friday morning at the age of 60 due to, quote, natural causes. Speaking of the awfulness of capitalism and whatnot from time to time, listen, capitalism has brought us a lot of great things. also terrible sometimes. And this next story highlights it very nice. So there is a YouTuber, which if you're in the now, you know them. I know who it is. It's called Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast does lots of stunts, likes to give people money, make people do things for money, has some very funny, like, plays hide and seek, and if you're the last person who doesn't get found, you get $100,000, and, you know, that's how he makes his money. He gets lots and lots of views, likes to give glasses to people and not, does a lot of public things, sometimes, apparently out the goodness of his heart, other times, you know, people are questioning whether or not he really means this or he's just doing it to get the YouTube views. Well, earlier this month, I meant to talk about this last week, but I ran out of time. He has a new chocolate coming out, and it is called Feastables. And he put out a tweet. It says, he said earlier in March, says, "I need your help. The next time you see Feastables in Walmart and soon to be other retailers, could you clean up the presentation and make it look better? That would make me very happy. I'm building a team to do this routinely, just need help in the short term." So he's basically asking people to work for him for free to fix displays so he can make more money. But then also, there was a contest. You do a before and after picture of, like, before the stand and after the stand. You might win $5,000. They'll do monthly drawings. And responses were mixed. One Twitter user said, "It's fascinating to watch the stage of capitalism where people are honored to do free labor for rich people and don't care about them because they feel some sort of connection and loyalty, like a dog wanting a treat. Only that treat is an imagined feeling of that connection." So there were a variety of funny tweets put out there. One was someone was taped to a light pole that said, "Mr. Beast, I caught this man after his shoulder brushed a Feastable display and one of your chocolates fell to the ground. He's pleading for mercy, but I don't believe he's truly sorry. What should I do for them, sir?" One of them did a post where he did a what's that, the Squid Game, where, like, the Japanese show where they were hunting people. The people were saying that is what happens when you don't reorganize chocolate bars. Someone posted, "I will continue to destroy your chocolate displays until you pay me $100,000. But a lot of people were doing it as well and whatnot, and some were happy to do it, posting pictures of themselves fixing a display to make it look presentable. If I would come across this, I'd probably knock him over. Guy's got billions of dollars. Ask me to do free stuff for you. I mean, no, I wouldn't do that. So that's kind of a very silly thing. So if you see the Feastables, if you want to try to earn $5,000, you're more than happy to. But you know what? Don't demean yourself. My friends, if you're looking for a place for sports, go no further than Wednesday nights here in AWSM Radio, because we've got two great shows. First up at 9 p.m., it's To the Rack with Mac. To the Rack with Mac is your go-to spot for all things basketball. Join NBA expert Mac Daddy as he brings you a full hour of high-flying hoops expertise for all things NBA. Tune in Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Then at 10 p.m., it's What's Going On. What's Going On is our Fox Sports affiliate show, providing listeners with over 150 combined years of sports knowledge. Hosted by Nate Brown and his crew, they are a staple of Western New York sports for the last 2 decades, and now they're national, and we have them here also Wednesdays at 10 p.m. So, 9 p.m., To the Rack with Mac, 10 p.m., What's Going On, only here on AWSM Radio. And that, my friends, is just about all the time we have today for the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Remember, you can find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the Cameo, and also on Counter Social at Colt S. Taylor. From time to time, I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Colt S. Taylor. And of course, if you've missed this show, catch the podcast version at anchor.fm/Colt Colt S. Taylor. And of course, bookmark ColtSebastianTaylor.com. Alright, my friends, until next time, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later. And once again, thank you so much for joining me here today on the podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Remember, check out the links below, life points, taking surveys, and get gift cards for giving other people your opinion, and Social Bee for all of your social media management needs. Until next time, I'm Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.